Aladdin's Lamp. Hello, this is Natasha, and Prince Bertie has asked me to tell you a story from a book called The 1001 Arabian Nights. The stories in this book were first told over 1,000 years ago in Persia by a very clever woman called Scheherazade. The king wanted to cut off her head, but every night she kept him fascinated by telling him a story and leaving it in a very exciting place so that he would want to find out what happened next. Eventually he forgot his evil intentions and she kept her head. And this is one of her stories. It's called Aladdin's Lamp. A long time ago, in Persia, a poor boy called Aladdin was playing with his friends in the streets of his city. A stranger came up to him and asked him if he was not the son of Mustafa the tailor. "I am, sir," replied Aladdin, "but he died a long while ago." When the stranger heard this, he embraced Aladdin, saying, "My boy, I am your long-lost uncle." Aladdin ran home and told his mother all about this newly found relative, and she prepared supper for them all. The next day, the uncle led Aladdin out far beyond the city gates. They journeyed onwards until late afternoon, but Aladdin did not feel tired because his uncle told him so many interesting stories. Eventually, they reached the foot of a mountain. "We will go no farther," said the false uncle. For in truth, he was not Aladdin's relative, but an African magician in disguise. "I will show you something wonderful," he said. The magician lit a fire and threw some powder on it while saying some magical words. The earth trembled a little, and a large boulder rolled on one side. Aladdin saw a flight of steps leading down into a dark cave. The opening was just large enough for a boy to pass through, but plainly the magician, who was rather fat, would not have managed to enter the cave himself. "Go down," commanded the magician. "At the foot of those steps, you will find an open door leading into 3 large holes. Pass through them without touching anything, or you will die instantly. These holes lead into a garden of fine fruit trees. Walk on until you come to a table on which stands a lighted lamp. Pour out the oil it contains and bring it to me." Aladdin was afraid to disobey the magician and went down the stairs into the cave. On the ground, he found a ring, and despite the magician's order not to touch anything, he picked it up and slipped it onto his finger. He did not die. Then he passed through the garden, where he picked fruit from the trees. Later on, he found the lamp, just as the magician had said, and he went back up the stairs to the mouth of the cave. The magician cried out, "Make haste and give me the lamp!" But Aladdin saw through this trick and understood that as soon as he handed over the lamp, the magician would replace the stone and he would be shut inside the cave, never to leave. And so, Aladdin called out, "Let me out first, and only then will I give you the lamp." The magician flew into a terrible rage, and throwing some more powder onto the fire, he said some more magic words, and the stone rolled back into its place. For 2 days, Aladdin remained trapped inside the cave. At last, he clasped his hands in prayer, and in so doing